Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Accrescent podcast. I'm your host, Leigh Ann. First and foremost, I want to start by saying I might sound a little nasally, a little gravelly. I'm kind of on the tail end of a slight cold, which is why there wasn't an episode last week. I just didn't have the capacity to get something recorded, get something of quality recorded. So a little bit of that today, like I said, hopefully on the tail end of that, but thank you guys for bearing with it. If it is a little gravelly, a little nasally, I wanted to start right off with an announcement. In the last episode, I alluded to there is an upcoming, event course that I have been working on. And so I'm finally ready to share the date for this upcoming event that I'll share a little bit about, but there's going to be more I'm sharing over the next month or so. But mark your calendars, Wednesday evening, May 22nd. So more, month and a half away from now, I am going to be hosting my first ever live online workshop. And I'm ecstatic about it. I'm nervous about it, but I think it's going to be so great. Teaching, really what it's going to be is a mini workshop educating and sharing some of the things that I share and educate my one-on-one clients with every single day, every single week. This is like the baseline information I wish everyone on this planet had about emotional wellness, and wanting to be able to get this information out there to a broader audience outside of just the people I get to work with one-on-one. So hosting a short online live workshop. I don't know if I'll ever be teaching this live again. I am testing this out. So mark your calendars. It'll be Wednesday evening. I'm in Pacific time zone. I don't know exactly what time. I'm thinking probably 6 p.m., but that could change, especially if I get feedback from you guys of what can work. But it is for sure going to be Wednesday, May 22nd. So mark your calendars, save that evening if that's something you're interested in, and stay tuned for more information on what this workshop is going to be about, how to attend, cost, etc. Okay, with all that said, let's get to today's topic. And a little bit of what I want to talk about today is emotional hygiene. This is a term, I've seen it before. It's not one I have heard a ton though. And I think it's a really apt term, kind of referring to what is, just like my physical hygiene. Lately, sleep hygiene has been kind of a hit word or a hot topic. And something I think about so often is so many of us are trained and attuned to this idea that every single day I do something to support my physical health. Pretty much every person I work with, myself included, but all of my clients, all of my patients are really have such wonderful lifestyle habits around supporting their physical health. Whether it's good nutrition, movement, sunshine, hydration, the sauna, getting physical treatments and modalities and tests done regularly. Most people I know and work with are consciously, intentionally doing something every single day for their physical health. And I think even individuals outside of the maybe like holistic health world are also looking at it in this way. We're just kind of trained. Yeah, I need to eat well. I need to exercise. And so I think most people in general are trying to do something every single day to support their physical wellness. My dream, my mission in life, one of many, but one of them is to make emotional wellness a part of our daily lives. What am I doing every single day to support my emotional wellness, my energetic wellness? Right now, I think so much of our perspective on emotional wellness is, oh, well, I do those things when I need them. I do those things when I'm in a moment of stress, when I'm in a time of grief or turmoil or turbulence. And I love, don't get me wrong, I love that we are now more and more as a society, as a culture, accepting that hey, if you're stressed, it's totally okay to go chat it out with a therapist, to go, get some acupuncture, do a meditation. So I love that is becoming more and more the norm. When something's off, when I'm feeling heavy, when I'm feeling that turbulence and I need support, I can go get it. For me now, the next tier, the next up-leveling of this is, can I do something every single day? Can I have emotional hygiene? Can I have emotional wellness practices and routines that I do no matter what? It's a baseline for me. Even if I wake up and I'm feeling fantastic, I'm still gonna do whatever those things are. And I think this is so impactful for one really big reason, and then a couple other small reasons. The biggest reason is, I think if we were to have daily things that we did every single day, and maybe it's just one thing, right? A meditation, nervous system support, journaling, whatever it might be. I think if we are supporting our emotional wellness every single day, it's going to mitigate a lot of the buildup, so that we have less and less of those moments where we are just completely and utterly overwhelmed. It's all just spilling out in like a volcanic eruption of emotions because we held it in for so long, because we didn't address it for so long. I think that daily practice will make those moments less and less. It will make the need for bigger intervention, for more intense support, less and less, because it's not building up. We're tuning in every single day. We're hearing ourselves to what's coming up, what we're needing, and we're helping those little daily things move through and not just get stuffed down and tucked away. I think so often as soon as we start feeling good, we stop doing all the things that made us feel good. And then the turbulence creeps back in, or the stress creeps back in, or the grief or the anger, and we start wondering why. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, I stopped doing all the things that helped me process that. Now, there's more I can say there, right? Because as many of my clients know, we don't just want to soothe our emotions. If there are recurring things we're experiencing, we want to make sure we're doing that solving work. What is causing this, and working through that? But not just waiting until the, metaphorical volcano is ready to explode with all of this emotion. And what does that look like? I think this is also where many of us kind of get hung up, because I kind of feel like, as of now, the general population, when they think of emotional wellness, mental health, the very first thing I think most of us think of is therapy. And a lot of people are still really resistant to that, and or are kind of like, oh, well, I'm feeling a little off, but I don't think I need a therapist. Or, yeah, actually, I see a therapist, but I see them once a week, and that's enough. And I do think that's fantastic, but there are so many other amazing emotional wellness tools and resources that can be really simple that we can use on a daily basis. The other one I think many of us think of is, either therapy or just meditation. And again, those are both fantastic, but it's not all that's out there. And I think when I wonder, I guess, when I talk about a daily emotional hygiene, daily emotional wellness practices, that I don't know exactly what comes to mind. What comes to mind for you? Is it like, I have to do hours of this meditation every day, or I need to talk to a therapist every day? I don't exactly know what that initial thought is for people. And actually, that's a really great question I can probably start to ask my clients and you guys and my audience online is, what do you think? When I say daily emotional hygiene, daily emotional wellness practice, what comes up for you? And a big thing that I love talking about is it doesn't need to be hours of your day, hours of your time. In fact, the more frequently we use practices, the shorter they can be. Truly, a 5-minute nervous system practice, 5 minutes of internal attunement and dialogue, a 10-minute somatic flow, an EFT meditation, 10 minutes of journaling, prayer. There are so many options. They do not need to be long and arduous for them to be impactful. And that's what I'd love all of us to start thinking about. What small practice can I start to bring in to use every single day? And the other kind of caveat I'll add here is it doesn't need to be the same thing day after day after day. I think as we get more equipped and adept at these things and just tuning in, you'll be able to each day tune in and go, what is going to be the most impactful practice for me to use today? Rather than just kind of robotically maybe like exercise, like, oh yeah, I just do this same thing every single day to check the box. What is going to support me most today? Is it a EFT meditation? Is it a somatic flow? Is it a long walk? Is it a call with a friend? Is it journaling, prayer, a hard workout? Any number of things, but being able to do that quick little assessment and then support yourself accordingly. I think at our core, we just want to feel seen, heard, honored, protected, validated by others, but more than anything, by ourselves. My inner self wants to feel heard by me. She wants to feel acknowledged by me, validated by me, seen by me. And we can do that every single day. So you guys know what a coffee lover I am, but I have also these last few months been trying to be much more intentional about how much caffeine I'm consuming, the quality of the coffee that I'm drinking. And there are so many new products on the market that are combining coffee with mushrooms, other beneficial substances that just add to the overall effectiveness, impact of the product. And I am always on the lookout for new coffee products, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Everyday Dose. This is a powdered coffee brand. And you guys know that I have shared other brands like this in the past, but this is the new favorite. This is top of the list. I have been drinking this every morning for the last 2 months. When I run out, I am legitimately sad and trying to get more of it as much as possible. I want to highlight a couple of the things about Everyday Dose that make it stand out from some of the other products on the market. First, they're combining coffee bean extract, organic coffee bean extract with organic mushrooms, nootropics, and collagen protein to give calmer energy, sharper focus. It also gives this added support to the gut, the brain, the immune system, and there's 80% less caffeine than other similar products, which is huge. It's been a big thing for me, reducing my caffeine intake. Some of the things I love is the collagen. This is not a lot of brands are having collagen in their coffee powder. They have L-theanine. There is a whole list of the amino acids that are in this coffee product, organic chaga, organic lion's mane. But more than all of this, or I guess the cherry on top, is that this, to me, literally tastes like coffee. And there is coffee in it, but so many of the other prepackaged brands that I've had do not taste like coffee at all, or it's just like very subtle and it does not feel like a replacement. This to me is so delicious. I would drink this over a normal cup of coffee any day. I add a little bit of coconut sugar and some organic cream, and it's the perfect thing every single morning. Check out Everyday Dose down in the link below. I hope you guys get to try it, and I hope you love it as much as I do. With the link below, when you purchase your first bag of Everyday Dose coffee, you will also get a free starter kit that comes with a number of different goodies, as well as 5 free to-go packets of Everyday Dose coffee. In case you haven't heard, in 2024, we are no longer applying our natural deodorant, we are eating it. And let me explain. For the past few months now, I have been using It Just Works natural deodorant capsules. What I love about these is it's helping deodorize the body from the inside out. What we know about body odor from a more holistic perspective is oftentimes body odor is coming from internal imbalances. So yes, we can use natural deodorants that help mask the odor from the outside, but it's not oftentimes getting to the root cause. It Just Works natural deodorant capsules help deodorize the body from the inside out. It's organic, there's no fillers, completely non-toxic, and clinically proven to help deodorize the entire body, not just our armpits. This includes oral odor, armpit odor, odor down there, if you know what I'm talking about. So check the show notes for a link to learn more and order your first It Just Works deodorant capsules. You guys know I love using kids as a metric for this, right? If you have kids, or you can imagine if you had a child, would you go a whole day without asking them anything about themselves or their day? I think most parents are pretty attuned to this idea of, yeah, when my kid comes home from school, the first thing I ask is, how was it? How was your day? What happened? Tell me what you did. Tell me how you felt. Was it good? Was it hard? If it was hard, why? That is so commonplace with kids, is just checking in with them, letting them know, I care what happened to you today. I care what you felt. I care what came up. And it's the same exact thing with ourselves. I think maybe what kind of trips us up sometimes is intellectually, we're like, well, I don't need to ask myself what I did today. I know what I did today. But you'd be surprised how impactful it can be at the end of the day. You know, for me, a practice typically is at the end of the day as I'm driving home, just being like, okay, Leigh Ann, how was your day? How did you feel? What came up? And it's almost like I am having a conversation with myself. Even though I might already know some of this, that practice of the intentionality of asking myself and letting some of those things come up. It might have been things I was already aware of. Like I was aware that I got a little anxious or that I felt really tired and depleted, but letting myself actually voice that. It's not just this vague sentiment in the back of my mind that is kind of like there in the periphery of my consciousness, but not really ever being allowed to come to the forefront and be seen and be heard. Being intentional about that tuning in can be so incredibly impactful. And some days, that is the extent of my emotional hygiene, is just that dialogue I had with myself on my drive home. And if that's all I get to do in a day, I'm pretty happy. I'm like, okay, at least I did that. At least I got to hear myself. But, and most days, that's all I need, is that just the tuning in can alleviate so much of the tension, because the inner self is like, oh, okay, I got to say it. I feel heard. I feel acknowledged. And sometimes that's 90% of the battle. But why that tuning in can then also be so impactful is if I tune in and I chat through my day with myself, and even after that chat, there's still lingering tension, lingering turbulence, then I can go, okay, and now that I see that there's stuff still lingering, what do I need to do? What can I do to support that so that it doesn't carry on, it doesn't linger through into the next day or the next week? You know, I might tune in and go, yeah, I was really anxious today, and that's still there. Okay, maybe I need to actually do a 10-minute EFT meditation to help that anxiousness fully move through. If I'm still, maybe I'm still have a lot of grief coming up, even after I've attuned to myself. Okay, what will help that grief continue to move through? Maybe I need to call someone and just get their support, get their input. So the attunement is twofold. I'm tuning in just to witness myself, to make space, to see, hear myself. But in that seeing and hearing, you then can also get more insight and clarity into if there is more I need to do to support myself, what is that based on what's coming up? Inside the Up-Level Lab, my online platform, I have a 13-minute guided walking meditation that is like the daily attunement. If you could ask yourself these few questions, it's walking you through what that would be and what to ask and kind of how to process through some of those things. And again, like I was saying, the daily emotional hygiene does not need to be an hour-long transcendental meditation of total silence, forcing my mind to be quiet. There are so many practices, and I just encourage all of us to sit with that and consider what some of those things might be and just start experimenting. Maybe the experimenting starts with, a 2-minute vagus nerve exercise. Great, amazing. The next day, maybe it's a 10-minute somatic flow. The next day, maybe it's a 15-minute EFT meditation. But I challenge all of us to start going, what am I going to do today to support my emotional wellness? And then the next day, what am I going to do today? What might be really impactful? And what I'll point out is for those of us that this is new to, you might not know. You might ask that question, what's going to be impactful for me today with my emotional wellness? And you might be like, I have no idea. That's okay. Just try something. And like I said before, as you start testing and experimenting with these different practices and modalities and resources, you're going to naturally start to find the ones that are impactful for you. And then you can make a mental note of that or save them in your phone or whatever it is. That way, a week from now, when you ask the question again, okay, what's going to be really impactful for me today? You'll have something to reference. You'll go, oh, well, over the last month I did this and this and this and this. And, oh, that one meditation, that one somatic flow really made me feel so good. Yeah, that's what I need in this moment. So we have to give ourselves grace that when this is new for us, we might not know what the best thing for me to do today is. But I encourage you, don't let that hold you back. Start experimenting with different things. And just at the root, it's what am I doing every single day to support my emotional wellness? Can I bring one thing in? And if I'm not clear on what that is, maybe the commitment is all I know that I'm going to do is once a day, I'm going to go on YouTube and search for something related to emotional wellness and try a new practice every single day. I think the experimentation more than anything is really, really worth the effort because it's easy to get stuck in one thing, right? Like, oh, I guess I'll just try and force myself to journal every day, or I'll force myself to meditate every day. I am very much of the mindset that there are enough resources out there that I don't think we need to force ourselves to do things that don't feel good or aren't impactful, because there are so many. So if you've been journaling or you're trying to force yourself to journal and it's not working, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't feel impactful, it doesn't make you feel any better, ditch it for a time, try something else. Because there are so many other things out there. I think there's just something very primal about wanting change. So I find that even for me, if I am using, something will work for me or resonate with me for a few weeks or months. And then kind of after a time, I just start to not be as excited about it. Like, for example, emotional freedom technique. I was doing EFT meditations every single day and I loved them. I looked forward to them. I felt so great after them. And then I just kind of noticed it started to feel like a chore, like, I gotta, the EFT, I don't really want to do that today. And now in those moments when that comes up, I just give myself permission. Okay, great. It's time to pivot. There's something else my mind, body, or spirit is yearning for that might be more impactful than this. So I give myself permission to go find or try or pivot to that new thing. Whatever it might be, maybe you have been doing the same meditation for a long time and it's just not exciting you anymore or uplifting you anymore or very impactful. Great. It's not a sign that you're broken or something's wrong or you need to just force yourself to keep grueling through it because that's how you're going to earn your emotional wellness. No, it might just be time for a pivot. So, what am I doing every day? How is my emotional hygiene? What are some of those things? And can I start to work on a daily emotional wellness baseline that in some way, in some capacity, every single day, I do something for my emotional wellness, no matter how I'm feeling. I might have had a fantastic day. I'm still going to support my emotional wellness. I don't know if you guys, all got to listen to the podcast interview with EFT expert Brad Yates, but he gave such a great analogy of, at the end of the day, you don't lick your teeth in your mouth and go, you know what, my teeth feel clean. I think I'm not going to brush them tonight. No, most of us, I think, are going to go, even if my teeth feel clean, I brush my teeth every single day, regardless. That's just a practice. It is my dental hygiene that I brush my teeth every single day, no matter what. Can we start to look at emotional hygiene in the same way? No matter what, I do something for my emotional wellness, whether I'm feeling great, down, high, low. It's just there. It's just a practice. It's just a lifestyle that I'm bringing in to support, nourish, honor myself every single day. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I hope this was impactful. And until next week.